on and come to a comfortable seat. And today is restore. And so make sure that you have all your props handy, and especially find your strap and create a loop with it. And you may have to adjust that loop when we get into it, but you can start off with just creating a general loop and then set it aside for now. And then take just a moment after you've made your loop to move your sitting bones and start to feel that contact with the ground. Start to let yourself settle into your body. This week has been a lot about tuning into our heart space and making space around the heart. And we will keep with some of that today, but as we all know, everything is connected. So we might be creating space around the heart, but that also requires some space around, the low back, the neck, even the legs, and creating space around the hamstrings, I find, is one of the best ways to help my heart space to be able to be open when I've created that space through the hips, the legs. And so as you sit, purposely create that tilt of your pelvis so you have a little more space through your low back. Purposely lengthen your sides, lengthen the back of your neck. And as you let your eyes close, take a couple big breaths here, starting to tune into a full deep inhale and exhale, in and out of the nose, finding that breath that helps to create space, to create balance. It's a regulating breath. As you take your next couple of breaths, let yourself find a little more length and tune into specifics showing up in your body, utilizing your practice for what it's for, which is to help you be more aware. And as you connect hands together at heart center, gently press palms and lift your shoulders up and back. Lengthening the back of your neck, take a couple deep breaths here. And tune into an intention for yourself, for your practice. And on your next exhale, bow towards your heart, honoring yourself for taking the time to tune in. And now softly opening your eyes, release your hands down and lift your shoulders up and back again. And we'll take just a little movement through head and neck. So go ahead and take ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Then shake your head no. As your head comes to the right side, take your left fingertips to your chin and give a little extra gentle push. Take a big breath. And then back into center and over to the left side. And again, fingertips to your chin. Give a little gentle push. Full deep breath. And then back into center and nod your head. And then back into center, palms turn up, elbows hug by your sides, and take gratitude here, rotating open with your upper arm bones, feeling that space and expansion through the chest, shoulder blades engage. Take a couple big breaths and feel free to add a little up and down movement here or a little pulsing, whichever feels the most beneficial, or you can do both. Or you can just stay open. Take a deep inhale, long exhale. Fingertips come to the floor just in front of you and push, round back through your upper back, expanding. Chin tucks in, add a little movement here through your shoulders. Take some deep, full breaths. And now inhale, sit tall. And now a couple of you have popped on since I did my little explanation. So we're using a strap today, and hopefully you have one that can buckle. So you're creating a loop, so give yourself a moment to do that if you haven't already. Now we're going to switch the cross of our legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for ourselves. And I know at least one of you maybe hasn't been here for Friday. This is a restore practice. So bring your hands behind your back to clasp and open up big through your heart space. Big lift of shoulders up and back, and then add a little bit of movement here, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Press palms, think of hugging elbows back, but not locking your elbow joints. Then as you come back into center, we're going to start to work with our strap. So if you don't have a strap that can buckle, then you're going to take gratitude arms, okay? Otherwise, we have this loop, and we're going to put our left arm through the loop, so it's slung over your shoulder, and then you're going to reach for it behind you with the right arm and twist it. Make one twist, and then put your left arm or your right arm through the hole that you've created, and then pull it up over your shoulders. So very similar to something that we've done in the past of strapping ourselves in, and then you might be able to find the end of your strap and give a little tug. Okay, and this tightens it up a little bit for you to help you open up through the shoulders. The reason why we don't do this one all the time is because it doesn't have the feedback at the low ribs. But what I want you to do here is feel your shoulders being drawn back and let your palms sit on your legs, palms up, so that you have that natural external arm bone rotation. So with this opening through your shoulders, tuck your chin down and lift your chin up. And again, if gratitude is where you need to be because you don't have a strap that buckles, then that's okay, because it's still that opening. The whole idea here is to maybe be able to use a little bit less work to open up. But the strap gets to do that work for you. And this is a variation that you can always use. We've talked about this in classes before, of using this for maybe a road trip or on an airplane where your posture tends to get relaxed after a little while. So this helps you maintain a little bit of posture. So now sitting tall, shake your head no. And as you do this, if you do have anything going on through neck and shoulders, you might notice tension as you shake your head no. Because often as we do this without the strap, we have a tendency to maybe shift our shoulders subconsciously to create a little bit more ease. So this way, we're going to have maybe a little bit more information about what's going on. Now, as your head comes to the right side, tuck your chin down and do a couple of nods here. And then keep your chin tucked down and take a couple big breaths. And then your head comes over to the left side and tuck your chin down and then start a couple of those nods to the left. And then keep your chin tucked down. Couple deep breaths. And now inhale back into center. And now we're going to do a little bit of twisting. The tricky part is if you don't have the strap holding your shoulders back, then you're going to have to focus on keeping your shoulders back. Okay. So now take your right hand across to your shin, your left knee or thigh, wherever it's comfortable, and notice that movement and expansion through your heart space. Press your left fingertips down beside you, lift your sides up higher. And now as you exhale, draw your lower ribs in to help you twist just a little bit more. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, take that twist over to the right side. And again, notice that expansion through your shoulders. And if you don't have the strap, then you're going to do a little bit of work here to keep your shoulders up and back. Take a big deep breath. Use your exhale to help you draw low ribs in and twist. Inhale, come back into center. And now we're going to take some movement with our arms. So palms turn out to your sides. Take an inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. The lovely thing is maybe you have that expansion as you draw your hands back to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms out wide and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good, 2 more this way. Full inhale. Long, deep exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now, palms up again on your legs. And lift your shoulders further up and back and just notice, maybe you can take the end of your strap wherever it happens to be and give a little bit more tug now. Maybe you have a little bit more opening that can happen. Close your eyes here in this really open place for your shoulders, your heart space, and take a deep breath. Then softly open your eyes, and you may have to release the strap a little bit, but we're going to try to take the strap off as controlled as possible. And then set your strap aside. We'll come back to it later. And then hands come out to your knees and move through a couple rounds of cat and cow here, letting your shoulders move forward and back. Inhale, belly and heart forward, and exhale, press back. One more full breath. All right, inhale, tall through your spine. And now we're going to get a little bit into the hips now, shifting a little bit lower in the body. So if you want to, you can come all the way down onto sitting bones, taking out anything you might be sitting on. Feet on the ground in front of you. Hold on to your knees here and add some cat and cow before we move into our hips. Inhale, sit tall, and exhale, press back. And you can, if it's most comfortable, stay sitting up on something, or you can have sitting bones on the ground. Now, walk your legs all the way out to start with, and then cross right ankle over your left knee. So you have that figure 4 here that we sometimes do when we're standing or when we're laying down. We're going to start here and move your sitting bones. Flex your feet, and then as you press your fingertips down, keep your feet engaged. Lift up tall through your heart space. And now take your right thumb into your hip crease and give a little rooting action down into your upper thigh bone, into the hip crease, and lift up taller through your heart. Take a full big breath. Push your heel down on your left foot and let that help your left knee stay a little bit lifted instead of locked. Take another full deep inhale. And then as you exhale, if it's in your practice, you can start to walk yourself a little forward into a fold, not going super deeply here. And what I want you to avoid is rounding your spine and trying to reach. So just a little fold. Inhale to rise back up, and now switch legs, lengthening your right leg out, cross your left ankle over your right knee, and then engage your feet. And especially your right heel gets to press down to help your knee stay lifted a little. And if that's hard today, then you're welcome to take a rolled up blanket underneath your knee. So we want to avoid that locking of the knee joint. Hand into your hip crease on the left side and give a push down. That push down helps to anchor, but it also helps to create that space of the femur bone in the hip socket, which is a really wonderful thing to do for yourself. It's a really great way to balance out your nervous system. Big full inhale, long spine, big exhale. Now, if you want to, you can start to hinge a little bit from the hips, taking just a little bit of a fold. We'll come back to folds a little bit later in our practice. Big deep breath, conscious of your right knee. Then inhale, rise back up and release your left foot and bring your right ankle to cross over your knee again. And so this time, or the bottom of your thigh, I should say, this time we're gonna walk our left foot in if that's in your practice. Otherwise, stay with your leg extended or inch your foot in as far as your body needs. The goal here is to still be able to sit up tall. So if you start to round back through your spine, then walk your foot out a little ways, or maybe come back to that straight leg place. Maybe sit your hips up on something, that's always okay. But hands can either hold on to your right knee and foot or fingertips behind you to help you sit taller. And then flex your left foot, pull your toes back towards your nose. Shifts the dynamic a little bit. Now take a couple big breaths here, and if you want, you can add a gentle rock side to side. For me, that gets right into the quad on the left leg. So just notice what happens for you when you take this. Then back into center. And if your body has settled a little bit, maybe you pull your left knee in just a little bit more, or maybe you release it a little ways. You choose. Take an inhale and sit tall. Full exhale, keep that length. And then gently release your left leg. Set your right leg all the way out to begin with. Cross the left ankle over your right lower quad. Flex your feet. And then from here, you're gonna bump your right foot in just a little ways or keep it out straight, whichever feels the best. And we're not symmetrical. So where it is on this side does not need to match where it was on the other side. So now find that long spine. And again, that can be holding on. That can be fingers on the floor. And then flex, pull toes back toward your nose. Notice how that shifts things. And then if you want, you can add that little bit of movement side to side. And again, just a little movement. It doesn't have to be the deepest place you've ever gone in your life. Good. Then back into center. And if you've created maybe a little more space, then draw your foot in a little closer. If your body is saying that's enough, then move your foot out, right? So find where your nervous system can calm, where your eyes can calm, and push with fingertips or sit taller by holding onto your foot and knee. Lengthen your spine. And then gently release, lengthening both legs out to wherever that is for you. It can be with your knees considerably bent or your legs more towards straight. Press fingertips down beside your hips and lift your chest, lift your heart. Take a full, deep breath here. Think of your shoulders lifting up and back. Think of that tilt of your pelvis so your belly is moving forward. And now gently reach right hand across to your left thigh, left fingertips beside your hip, and lengthen, 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 lift. As you exhale, draw your lower ribs in and twist just a tiny bit more to the left side. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, take that twist over to the right side. Inhale, long. Exhale, lower ribs in to twist. Inhale, come back into center. And now walk your feet in so that you can take a butterfly here or a bound angle pose. And in this pose, I want you to notice your low back. And if you are rounding back through the low back, if your pelvis is tilting back, then sit up on something to help your pelvis tilt towards your feet or shift your feet a little further forward, okay? And now from this place, make your legs comfortable. So it might be blocks underneath your knees. It might be a blanket rolled up over your feet and underneath your legs. It's my favorite variation because not only does it support the ankles, but it also makes your feet warmer. So now inhale, sit tall. Exhale, hinge as deeply as your body is ready for. And I want you to think of long through your front body. okay? So often when we round into our back, our front body gets short. So lengthen and move your ribs forward, your heart forward, your collarbones forward. And then exhale, maybe you hinge a little bit deeper, but find that place where your body can settle in the place where you are, where your nervous system can settle, your eyes behind your eyelids can release and relax and let go. Take some big breaths. Two more deep breaths right here. Then inhale, sit tall, and we'll come to our deer pose. And this pose, I consider it to be a variation of our pigeon pose. So right leg comes to a 90-degree angle straight out in front of you. So think of your thigh bone straight ahead, and then your shin coming toward parallel with the front of your mat. Left leg comes out to the side. So your thigh bone is straight out to the left, and your leg again comes to about a 90-degree angle. Then you're inhaling to sit tall and exhaling to hinge from the hips and fold over your right leg. So if you want to, you can settle all the way down with your head, or if your body is saying, oh, heck no, then maybe you're coming to forearms on something. But take a couple big breaths here and just notice what this stretches for you. For me, this tends to get into the glutes, the SI joint area, and even into the SI, not the SI, but the IT band. So just notice the effect it has for your body. And remember, shift a little bit if you need to. That's what this practice is about. All the practices are about that. But the restore practice in particular is really a chance to tune in and notice what's going on. Take action that's really compassionate. Then inhale gently and bring yourself all the way back upright. And we'll switch sides. Left leg, thigh bone is straight ahead. Shin is approximately parallel to the front of your mat. Right leg, thigh bone is straight out to the right. And you're coming to about a 90-degree angle with your right leg as well. And then as you press your fingertips in, lift your heart up high. Exhale, hinge and fold over your left leg. Coming again to as propped up a place as you need. And where that is for your body. And then take some deep breaths. And just like any of our poses, along with having a long spine, the goal is to come to a place where your nervous system can calm. So if you've got a lot of sensation through the IT band or the SI joint or whatever, then maybe shift a little bit to allow your nervous system to calm. If you have that sensation of needing to get out of this place, that's your fight, flight, freeze. That's your sympathetic nervous system. I always remember it by thinking, oh, that's not very sympathetic. So notice for yourself if you can come to that ease, rest and digest place. Another full big breath right here. And then inhale, bring yourself all the way back upright and come all the way back around with your legs. And this time, soles of feet connect out in front of you with a diamond shape. We come here often. If you would like to, you can take the same thing that you did with your butterfly, which is either blocks underneath your knees, or you can take your blanket over your feet and underneath your legs for a little ankle support. Shift your sitting bones, press down with fingertips, lift your ribs up high, and then as you exhale, walk your hands down your legs to fold as deeply as your body is ready for. And in this place, we aren't coming to the pillow or bolster in between our legs, but instead we're going to come to a place where even if your head isn't down on something, because that's not the goal, where you can pulse with your breath. It's a little hard to do if you have props in the way. So inhale, grow longer. Imagine your front body growing, and exhale, hinge just a little deeper. Inhale, grow longer. I like to shift a little bit through my hips and my sides. Exhale, fold a little deeper. We're going to take about 5 more big breaths this way. And just remember that going deeper is not necessarily the goal. It can always be inhale and realize that you need to stay up a little bit higher. That's okay too. All of it's okay. So take a couple big breaths. And just discover where you can create space, not with the intention of going anywhere, just with the intention of creating more space. One more big breath here. Then inhale, gently rise all the way back up to a tall spine. And we're going to take a spinal twist from here. So with fingertips pressing down beside your hips, lift your ribs up high, heart up high. And then your right hand comes across to wherever you need it to be. Shin, knee, thigh, wherever it feels good. Left fingertips press down beside you, lift up through your sides. Then exhale your low ribs in to help you twist a little deeper. Full big breath. As you take a couple more deep breaths, think of finding that opening that you found with the strap earlier, opening up through your chest. Your shoulders are back, shoulder blades are engaged. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, take that twist over to the right side. And again, hand wherever you need it to be for it to be comfortable. Press down, find lots of lift and length. Exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist. And then find that opening again through your shoulders. Especially notice if that left shoulder popped forward, draw your shoulder blade onto your back, expanding your collarbones. Full big inhale, long deep exhale. Inhale, come back into center. And then one more time, long full breath to sit taller. On your next exhale, hinge and fold as deeply as your body needs. Again, maybe your head rests down, maybe you stay up a little higher. And now gently inhale and bring yourself all the way back upright. And bring your knees back upright. And from this place, you're going to take your feet in as close as your body needs to be able to comfortably rest over your legs. So take an inhale, sit tall. Exhale, hinge and fold over your legs. I like to take a hold of a wrist here, but let your head hang. Let your upper back expand. Take a big breath into the back of your heart space. Then inhale, gently bring yourself back upright. And have your blanket handy just in case you like it. Have your strap handy just in case you'd like it. We're gonna extend our right leg out long and cross left leg over your right, coming to this half cow head place. So full cow head is with both legs bent, working towards stacking knees. This half cow head place gives us a little hamstring stretch. So now from this place, if you have a tendency to hyperextend your right knee, put your blanket underneath your knee. Shift your sitting bones, and if you have a tendency to round your back, then put a blanket or a block or a bolster underneath your hips. If you do that, then you might definitely need to put something underneath your leg though. So press your fingertips down, lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. And then exhale, walk your hands forward, coming as deeply into this fold as you would like. And you can even take your strap around the ball of your right foot if you would like to, enabling that action of flexing. But remember, no locking the knee joint. So if flexing makes the knee joint push down, blanket underneath, or push your heel down so that your knee lifts. Take an inhale and lengthen. Exhale, maybe hinge just a little deeper. Full big deep inhales and exhales. And one of my favorite things to do is to hold on to the strap with my right hand and take my left thumb into my hip crease to push down and create that space at the femur bone. If you'd like to try that, you can, or you can stay holding on to the strap or your foot or the floor. Take a big deep breath. And now inhale, gently bring yourself back upright. Left fingertips come just behind your left hip. Right hand comes across to your left thigh. As you lengthen your spine, take an exhale, draw low ribs in to twist a little bit to the left. Big, full, deep breath. And you might even switch to pressing the back of your forearm against your thigh, your choice. Broad and open through your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale, come back into center. Now counter twist over to the right side. You might hold your shin, you might take a hold of your foot or fingertips on the floor. Take an inhale and lengthen. Exhale, low ribs in to twist to the right. Inhale, come back into center and switch legs. Left leg extends, right leg crosses over the top, working toward that stacked knee place. One of the things I didn't mention on the other side is you can always set a blanket or a prop of some sort underneath your right foot here, but engage both feet. That engagement helps ankle safety. It also helps you to press your heel down, let your knee lift on the left leg. From here, move your sitting bones and then press down with fingertips, lift your sides. As you exhale, hinge as deeply as your body is ready for. And again, you can always take a strap over the ball of your foot here to help you remember to flex, not to pull yourself toward your foot, okay? So instead, you can use that pull to help you lengthen. Take an exhale, and if you have the space, maybe you hinge more and fold, but really try to avoid the pulling action. Big full breath wherever that is. And if you'd like to take that variation of keeping the strap in your left hand, right thumb into your hip crease to give a press, you're welcome to. I think this feels really good, but you might decide it doesn't. There's no right or wrong answer. Just tuning into what your body is feeling. Big deep breath. One more full breath. Then inhale, gently rise back up. We're going to take left hand across to your near thigh, right fingertips just behind your right hip. Press down with your fingertips and lift your ribs. Exhale, low ribs in to twist. Maybe take the back of your forearm to your thigh here to help with just a little bit of leverage. But really, again, we're not trying to push or really make ourselves go to a particular place. Use that push instead to help you lengthen, find more space. Exhale, low ribs in to help you twist. Full big deep breath. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, we're taking our twist now to the left side. So again, wherever you need to be, sometimes it helps to hold on to your shin or your heel on that top leg, maybe fingertips both to the floor. Take an inhale, grow taller. Exhale, low ribs help you twist. One more deep inhale. Long, full exhale. And inhale, unwind, both footprints to the ground. And with hands at your knees, again, a couple movements in a cat and cow. Press back with your spine on the exhale. Inhale, sit tall. Full deep exhale. As you take 3 more breaths here, notice again for yourself what's going on in your body. Then inhale, sit tall. And now we're going to take a little bit of opening for our shoulders over a prop. So you get to decide if you're going to use a bolster or maybe a blanket. The blanket's going to be a little bit more gentle. So you decide what that looks like for you. And as you decide on the prop you're going to use, the idea is that your low body can find a restful place while you do the work in your upper body. So that might be knees dropping in together to touch. That might be feet coming together into a butterfly or legs extended. You decide what that looks like for you. And now as you rest over your prop, expanding through your heart space, take cactus arms and your arms will be lifted from the ground. If they come all the way to the ground, then, if that's okay if you are on a smaller prop, but if you're on a bigger prop like I am, then that could be a tough thing for the shoulder girdle. So think of in line with your shoulders here. And now we're going to do a little bit of moving. So engage your hands and then start with bent elbows to bring your fingertips to maybe touch above the head and then elbows close to your sides. Fingertips toward touching and elbows toward your sides. And we're going to take about 5 more here, just working through some of that expansion through the collarbones, through the pecs, and just notice for yourself. If touching fingers above the head is not right for your shoulders, then only go part way, right? We don't have to take that full range. This is just a chance to give ourselves a little bit of work through the tight fascia that tends to build up, especially if we're doing anything shoulder intensive these days, like working on a computer. And now back into center. Again, we have this cactus arm place. Take a big breath and notice for yourself. If you need to take a rest, you can always set your hands by your sides, but it can be a pretty big stretch through the pecs. And now back to that cactus place, we're going to take some eagle arms. There we go. Wrap left elbow over your right, and you might hold on to your palm here, or if that's a lot for your shoulders, then take your hugs. But lift your elbows up toward your shoulders, and then take little tiny circles, whether you're in eagle or if you are in a hug. Little circles in the other direction. And then open back up to your cactus and switch the cross. Eagle arms on the other side or a hug. Lift your elbows so you have shoulders and elbows near stacking. And then little circles in one direction. And little circles in the other direction. And then open them up. And from this place, we're going to do a few movements in together with elbows. So as you gently draw your low ribs in toward your prop, start to slowly move your elbows in, thinking of connecting elbows first and then hands. Inhale, open it up to your cactus, and exhale. Elbows in as you engage your low ribs. Inhale, open it up. And exhale. Inhale, open it up and rest your arms for a moment, hands coming to your ribs, elbows relaxing. Take a big deep breath. And now reach your arms overhead. We have one more thing to do. And palms are facing each other, and even think of turning your pinkies a little bit more in so you're externally rotating your upper arm bones. Plug in with your shoulder blades. Let your low ribs engage gently as you reach your arms overhead. Maybe your thumbs touch the ground. Maybe they don't. That's okay. But use your low ribs pressing into your prop to bring your arms back up. And then arms overhead. Again, find that external arm bone rotation. And slowly lower them. Use your low ribs pressing to bring your arms back up. One more time. Rotate. Shoulder blades engage. Arms overhead. And then low ribs engage to help you bring your arms back up. And now arms can relax, hands can come to your ribs, or open your arms up here in that T position, or elbows a little more bent. Take a full big breath. Let yourself be here for just one more moment in time. And then gently roll over to your side. Push yourself back up to your seat just enough to move your prop aside. And then come back down onto your back. And from this place, knees hug in if that feels good. You can always set your footprints on the floor. But take a moment to find a little movement that feels good. So that might be moving your knees a little side to side, or in circles or figure eights, or maybe a happy baby pose. But give yourself a chance to notice how your back body feels and how that space in front of your heart and behind your heart feels. And now find your strap one more time, and you can just keep it in this loop if you would like, but we're going to bring both feet, or the strap around both feet, and then lengthen our legs up. And as you lengthen your legs up, flex your feet. And from this place, as you allow your legs to be long, your hamstrings to be long, think of pressing your inner thighs forward until you feel a little lift through your low back. Let your eyes close here if it feels comfortable, and take a couple big breaths in this gentle version of an inversion. As you take another couple of deep breaths, let your body settle just a little bit more, maybe through the shoulders, maybe through the hips. But noticing what energy it takes to keep your legs lifted. We have 3 more deep breaths right here. And then gently bend your knees in toward your chest. Take the strap off of your feet and set your strap aside, footprints to the floor. And now one last pose before we come to our Shavasana. So find your pillow or bolster. And you could always do this on a block here, but preferably if you have one of those big blue blocks, that's what you would want to do it on. So we're going to lift our hips up and set our prop underneath our hips. We know and love this pose. We've been here before, right? So if you would like to, you can take a moment extending your legs, extending your arms, coming to that psoas variation. Take a big couple of breaths here. And now you can keep your left leg extended here if you would like, or you could always bend your knee and put your foot on the floor. That's okay too. But your right knee is going to bend in toward your chest. Right hand gets to help you to open it up to the right side. And then add a little bit of movement here forward and back. So this should be subtly, maybe not so subtly, getting into your glutes a little bit, and even that muscle that is also a tight hip flexor sometimes, called the piriformis. Bring your knee back up to center and open it. Back to center and open it. A couple more times, just working that opening of the hip. And then back into center, extend your leg long and draw your left knee in. Left hand helps you to open it up to the left side. And again, a little forward and back movement here. And now back up to center and open. Back up to center and open. A couple more times. And now back up to center, and both footprints come to the ground. And from here, you can move your bolster or pillow down underneath your legs. You can take your arms out to the sides. You can take any variation here of your Shavasana, including setting a blanket over you for a little warmth if you want, for a little more grounding. Take the time to set yourself up into a really comfortable place and take some full breaths. And take a moment to really notice what's happening in your body, what's happening in your mind. Give yourself full permission to release. And even recognize for yourself if it's hard to release, if it's hard to let go. Begin to take a deeper breath. Bring gentle movement to fingers and toes. Gentle turn of your head side to side. If you'd like, take a full body stretch, reaching arms and legs long. And then slowly roll to one side. And press yourself back up to your seat. And connect hands together at heart center. With eyes closed, take a moment for a full breath. Have a very peaceful and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.